Sumud Flotilla vessel seized by Israeli forces in international waters will return to our country this afternoon via special flight. He also said that efforts were underway to complete the procedures for the remaining citizens as soon as possible so that they can come to Turkey. He also added that third country nationals were also planned to be on board the flight. Turkey has called the Israeli interception an act of terrorism and said it had opened an investigation after Israeli forces arrested Turkish citizens on board the flotilla. Ali Mohammed Abushbak is live with us on this big story, independent Palestinian researcher. Ali, what do you make of this fresh development coming in? 8 Turkish nationals all set to return to Turkey after they were, of course, detained for being on board that flotilla.
The thing is, the Israelis intercept for the flotilla. It's considered for many international experts and international law experts. They consider it as illegal, especially they are intercepted in international water. So the thing is, I guess nowadays also Israel should be careful with the Turkey, especially after in 2010, where during the crisis between Israel and Turkey about Marmara's flotilla, when Israel killed around 11 Turkey activists. So that's costed a lot, and Israel's Turkey relationship has been halted at that time. So the thing is, nowadays Israel should be careful about it. And also Israel arrested around 20 journalists during that time, and more than of them civilians, and more than of them activists. They came to help the civilians in Gaza. So now Israel in hard place with regard to the flotilla. And also we have seen a footage that released by Israelis news media that the infamous Israeli minister Ben-Gvir, he called them as a terrorist, and he insulted this activist. So that will keep the relationship with Israel and Turkey and several of countries like also Italy, that will make the relationship a bit tough and intense. So I guess nowadays Israel should be careful about this. Among of the international community, they are condemned the Israelis' interception and dehumanizing the activists and dehumanizing the civilians who came to help civilians in Gaza. Among of this atmosphere, there is several of a protest taking to street in Western countries, condemning the Israelis' action, intercepting the flotilla in the international water, that make it more crisis and impacted and damaging the Israelis' reputation. Not here I'm talking about in media, but also about public opinion, who's nowadays turn from adopting the Palestinians' narrative rather than to hear the Israelis' narrative. And I said in 2010, during the Marmara flotilla, and the aggression and the action was unappropriated, and
yes, which is why Turkey, in fact, has called the Israeli interception an act of terrorism. They've reacted very strongly to this.
There is no doubt, and also there is no doubt the relationship between Turkey and Israel now, it's intense, and they hold the trade, and they hold all the relationship, and they reduce the investment in Israel, and they are, these kinds of things, creating the things is more worth than before.
Ali, thank you for joining us with your perspective on this story.